Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody's doing amazing. Here it is a hot June day here at the beach. We are definitely in what we would call the dog days of summer, where it is, yeah. I looked earlier today at the weather. It said it felt like 102 degrees outside. So we definitely have hit that muggy time of the year. Hope everyone who is joining tonight is doing well. Do me a favor, go down to the comments section right now. Say, hey, Jeremy, make sure you can hear me. I want to make sure everybody can hear what we're talking about tonight and everything sounds and looks good. And also tell me where you are joining in from tonight. I always love to see where my visitors are coming in from, where people are paying attention and talking with me tonight. And if you have questions about anything during tonight's live stream, just drop a question in and we'll do what we can to discuss it and go over that in the future. We've already got people starting to come in, which is awesome. But tonight, we're going to discuss a fun subject. We're going to discuss some of the advantages of retiring to South Carolina. Now, I know growing up, for me, I always heard people talk about, oh, we're going to retire to Florida. We're going to retire to Florida. And well, I hate to say it, I don't think Florida is really the top spot destination choice for a lot of people anymore. From a lot of people that I've spoken to over the last several months, they have said no thank you to Florida anymore for a couple of reasons. One, they don't want to deal with the taxes and the property values. They're so expensive now. They also don't want to deal with the insurance. I've heard a lot of problems with getting insurance down in Florida these days on your home, and companies just canceling insurance instantly on you, and you don't have any property insurance anymore. And that's no fun. Also, a lot of people that are moving to this area, they're coming from the Northeast. They're coming from New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Ohio, all those areas up north. And, at least South Carolina back to PA, it's a 1 day drive versus if you're in Florida, you're taking 2 days to make that drive. So a lot of people are really considering Myrtle Beach as a spot that might be the destination to move to retire. And so I thought tonight, why not take some time? We'll discuss some of those things. And also, like I said, if you have questions, I'm here to answer any of those questions as we go through tonight. And for once, I have no time schedules or restraints, I should say, that I can't stay here and answer all your questions. I'm bacheloring it right now. The whole family's out of town. Maybe my wife's on here or my kids, if they are. Hi, guys. Hope you're doing well. Dad misses you. Look forward to seeing you soon. But let's jump into it. Let me get a drink here first. First off, South Carolina, Bojangles. Okay, much better. Let me sit that over here because we're going to go to water now with that. But tonight, let's before we get in, let's see who's joining in. Let's go over here and look. Josh says, hey, watching from Kalamazoo, Michigan. What's happening, Josh? Let's see here. Gustav's coming in from Austria. Wow, we've gone international, people. This is awesome. Welcome. Enjoy joining in tonight. Hope you have a good day. What time is it there in Austria right now? I don't even know. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. All right, let's see. Who else do we have here? We've got Linda jumping in from Waterbury, Connecticut. Hey, Linda. How you doing? Hope things are going well. Let's see who else here. We got hey, Cindy. How are you? Yes, I know where you're at because we put you in that house. Cindy was one of my clients, bought a house here, a beautiful home over in Carolina Forest area. So awesome. Thanks for joining in. And let's see who else here. With the explosion of population in the area, when will they build roads to accommodate them? Ooh, we're already getting into some good questions. So here's the thing with roads. Let's talk about that. We'll get right into it off the bat, and we'll get back to the topic, I promise. But this is what makes the show fun, is talking, answering your questions as we go through. So one of the things that definitely is happening in our areas, we're having an explosion of growth. With that taking place, we're seeing a lot of the roads being adjusted, added, corrected, changed to accommodate all of these changes. For example, over towards Conway, They have put in side roads now near 501 with roundabouts to get around kind of the back way, so you don't have to get stuck in the heavy traffic, and can get kind of from Conway back to the beach a little bit easier. On Carolina Forest Boulevard, it used to be a 2-lane road. Well, they've now widened that out to be a 5-lane road. On River Oaks Drive, they're starting to put center turn lanes in for people that are traveling up and down River Oaks Drive, so you're not getting stuck waiting behind traffic. So we're definitely seeing a lot of those widenings and expansions taking place. What we have down here a lot of times are these riding on a penny programs that take place where we're adding a penny tax onto the tourism industry, basically, so that the millions and millions of tourists who visit Myrtle Beach every year are helping to pay some of those fees to help widen roads, add new roads. Highway 31 is not that old in our area. And from what I understand, there are talks about it being expanded all the way up to the North Carolina border, which it's not too far from it now, and all the way down into Georgetown, which, those types of things happening are definitely going to help us get around the area a lot better. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see here. Gustav says it's 7 a.m. No, wait, no. Oh, 07. Oh, so it's midnight. Midnight, I think. Yeah, I think that's what he's saying. Okay, I got it. Anyway, tonight, what we want to talk about. And like I said, if you guys have questions and want to know about anything, it doesn't have to be related to the topic, like we just talked about the roads. But if you have questions about anything, just drop a question in the comments and we'll do our best to answer them. But tonight, what I wanted to talk about is some of the big advantages of retiring to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Obviously, the first thing that main reason why people are moving here, whether they're retiring or not, is they want the low cost of living. Not only do they want the low cost of living, but they also want the amazing weather and the great lifestyle of living at the beach. So, talking about lifestyle, let's just start with that one. There's a saying down here, life's a beach. And it's the reason that most of you are watching tonight's stream, that you're tuning in because you're thinking, hey, I want to live in a coastal town. I want to live close to the beach where I can go and enjoy it. I can relax, have a good time. I want some of that laid back lifestyle that they have in South Carolina, where things are a lot easier going, a lot calmer, quieter, friendlier people. All that just kind of, that's the reason you're wanting to move here. So, with that being stated, the first thing that I need to kind of give as a caution, I guess, and when I meet people in person, a lot of times I kind of go through this with them. And some cases are a little bit more drastic than others. But we'll just talk about my family here for a minute when I moved here. So, when we moved here from Pennsylvania, my father was a school superintendent in the Phoenixville area, which is not too far outside of Philadelphia. It was a rather large school district, and he was in charge of thousands and thousands of employees. And he was used to, when he asked a question, that people would, if he asked for it, it was done, and it was done quickly. And so when we moved here, he wasn't used to the way things worked in the South. He wasn't used to the slower lifestyle pace, the calmer, relaxed, we'll get it done, Mr. Blanton, type of thing. He wanted it done yesterday. And so for about a year to a year and a half, he was constantly trying to get people to make changes, constantly trying to get people to move at his pace and do things at his speed. We'd have a contractor come over to the house to, one of the things I remember real well when my dad was alive and we were just moved here is he wanted to put a concrete patio in out back. And he hired somebody and they said, oh, I'll be there on Tuesday. I'll be on Tuesday. And he said, okay. Now this was on Monday. So he was thinking the next day the guy was going to show up. No, what the man meant was he'd be there the next Tuesday. And to my father, that was not good because he didn't get that impression. He thought the next day. And so he was very upset when the man finally showed up. He was very upset that he said, oh, well, I can do it, sir, but it's going to be a little while. And he's like, no, I want it done tomorrow type of thing. And so one of the first things that I always like to say is when you're moving here and you're moving here to retire, have that relaxed lifestyle, the good life, you have to first take into account that that fast-paced lifestyle that you've been living for the last 40, 50 years is not going to work down here. And you can try to fix, air quote the people, fix the people or change them, but you're not going to. So once you realize you can't change them, so you might as well just join them, then your life's going to start to become a lot better and you're going to enjoy living here a whole lot more. So I want to kind of say that as the first point. When you're moving to the beach, one of the things that you're coming for is that relaxed lifestyle. And so once you adjust to, hey, I'm here for relaxation and having a better life, then you're going to have a lot better all the way around. So that being stated, let me pull up my handy notes here. I took notes tonight, guys. I'm really proud of myself for doing this. But hopefully, you'll start asking some questions that are going to totally take me out from the notes. But with moving to the Myrtle Beach area, one of the big reasons why this is a great place to retire is that as you're retiring, you're going to be going on some sort of a fixed income, whether that's Social Security, a pension, or a combination of the two. And so you're not going to be working that 40 to 50 hours a week anymore with the ability to bring in extra income. So with that being the case, we need to see what can we do to get our costs of living down. And one of the big things that is a cost to people, especially when you start talking, and for those of you that are joining in tonight, I'd love for you to share in the comments right now, what are you paying a year where you live? Tell me where you live and how much are you paying for property taxes a year? I'd love to hear this. It's always fun when people start sharing this to me, and we usually have good conversations about it. But I deal with a lot of people coming here from New York, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. And when I talk to people from New Jersey, they're usually sharing about their taxes. And they're sharing about property taxes in a monthly number. Okay. Well, usually what they pay up there per month is what they're going to almost have for their taxes here annually. So give me a second here. Let me pull this up. I want to share this with you. Let me go back here and we're going to click on this. And all right, come on. There we go. Let's do the share screen. And then here, click that. And here we go. All right. So this is from Rocket Mortgage. They share states ranked by property taxes. Okay. And so you can see when you look at this, your median home price, and then also what you can expect for an average property tax. And so when you look here at South Carolina, once you turn the property into your primary residence, if you buy a house around $380,000, you can expect your taxes to be around $2,100 a year. Okay. This is if it's a primary. Now, if you do not make the property your primary residence, your taxes are going to be significantly higher. And when I say significantly higher, I mean probably 3 times what you currently would be paying as a primary residence. So once you get yourself here, register to become a primary resident, and I'll show you all that here in just a minute. You can definitely take your tax number way down to this 2,000 or less. And I really think that this number is even a little bit higher than what you could really expect here in the Horry County area. Because this number is taking for all of the state. It's not just Horry County, but it's taking in Charleston and Columbia and Greenville and all of those areas in to figure out that average. Here, I would say probably more like maybe $1,800 to $1,900 a year would be kind of a better guess. Sorry, I need to drink some water. I'm a little parched today. I guess it's because it's so hot outside. But let's go back over here. We'll put my video on so you guys can see me as well. So what I want to show you next is how do you become a primary resident here in South Carolina, and how does that work? So it's pretty simple process to do. Once you've closed on the property, you can go over here to our to the county website, horrycountysc.gov, and you go right here to the taxpayer section, and you can click on this button that'll show you the legal residence instructions. and this will walk you through what you need. So it shares with you here that you got to get your PIN. They need to be all questions need to be answered, and you need to give all the documents. You need to give a written explanation for documents if you're not or not available. And if married, your spouse must agree, accept, and provide all required documents, even if he or she has no ownership in the property. So this is something that changed a couple years back and was added because before, what you were having is people who were buying the home, and before my wife and I got married, she had a home in her name, and we're keeping that home. And now we're buying mine, and I'm going to buy it and get the primary resident discount on mine. So you're technically getting a primary discount on two homes. And so to make sure that doesn't happen anymore, it's now if you are married, you have to do this. So what you had, excuse me, what you have to do is you have to go over, get your driver's license set up. You have to get your vehicle registered into your name, a copy of your voter registrations, and then you have to also have a copy of your tax return, and it has to be redacted. And they want all the stuff with it included. And you have to give them the first 3 pages. Now, if we go down here, they show you here's what you can redact out and the information that you can kind of cover up. They're not caring what your income is. Trust me, that is not what they care about at all. What they want to see more than anything is that your name and your address match that of your home. Okay, that's what they're really looking for when they're looking at this form. So you fill out all of this information, you get it all together, and then once you have it all, you can simply go right here, click on the application, and it'll open up the form, and you literally just go through here and fill in the information. So you'd put your PIN number in here, which if we go back a second, you'll see here's how you would find it. So you would go in here and you click on, oh, I didn't click the button. How's if I do that? And go to here and open that link, and it'll show you. And so you go in here, you can type in the name, and it'll give you the information. So say my address is 123 Main Street. Put it in. Okay, there it is. Click on this. And there actually is a 123 Main Street. And I could click on it, and it would show you. Now, since this one's not in there, but say this is my property. There it is. So this one's actually owned by the Fish and Wildlife Association. But right here, this number at the top is your PIN number. So you'd take that number, copy it, paste it in here to the top. You put in your legal description, all this information, fill in all of this info, and attach all of the documents that they want. And then once you're done, so you can see down here at the bottom, you put in your driver's license, a social security card, tax returns, registration, marriage license. You can load it all in here, or you can take all of this documents, go down in Myrtle Beach. Let me show you where it's located. You can do it in Conway, or you can go down to the Blanton building in Myrtle Beach, which it sits right here, the Olin Blanton building right off of 21st Avenue. And the DMV, by the way, is right across the street. So you can go here, get your license and all done, all your registration done, go across the street, pay your taxes for your vehicle, finish out the registration, and then right in this building, do all the stuff to apply for your primary residence. So it's a pretty simple process to make it all work. But once you do that, your taxes are going to drop down. Now, the other big benefit as someone who's over the age of 65, once you have owned your property for a full complete year. So if you were moving to Myrtle Beach this year and you're over the age of 65 and you purchase your home between now and the end of December, you would then have to have January 1st of 2025 to January 1st of 2026 to complete your 1 full year of a legal resident here in South Carolina. And then you would be able to apply for the homestead exemption. And what that homestead exemption does is it then drops another $50,000 off of the assessed value of your property, save you a couple $100 more. So hopefully this all makes sense to you. Let's jump over here and see what kind of questions we have going on here. John says, hello from Minnesota. Hello, welcome. GTO says, will Myrtle Beach home flood insurance go the same way as Florida? I wish I knew. I do not know. Right now, we have not. However, it is, how do I say it? It's becoming a little bit more difficult. A lot of your insurance providers, your big name ones, are becoming a little bit more particular. For example, State Farm, one of the biggest carriers in the country, right? They will not write an insurance policy in our area anymore without a copy of their certificate of occupancy. So if you're buying a new home, no big deal. You can get them and have no problem at all doing it. But if you are buying something that was built in 1993, let's say, do you think that owner kept it and left it there in the house for people down the road? Probably not. It's been thrown away. So you're not going to be able to get one. Also, if the home was built before, I believe it is 2013, I think was that date, if I remember correctly, you would need to have a updated certificate of occupancy saying that the home has been brought up to code levels of 2013 or newer. So more than likely, if you're buying an older home, State Farm is not going to do the insurance for you on it. You'd have to go with some other companies. And one of the things that I'm going to try to do here in the real near future is get Terry from We Insure to come back. I know you all had Terry before. I really enjoyed when she joined us on the show. If you do me a favor to say, please bring Terry back, and then I can tell her, listen, a whole bunch of people asked for you, and we'll do that. So let's see what other questions we have here. John wants to know, how often do you have to live there as your primary? I don't really remember. I think it's like one day of the year, but you have to get your cars registered here, pay your vehicle taxes, all of that stuff in order for it to be considered a primary residence. And usually what happens is if you're in some of the other states, it's not a benefit because then that home that you currently have as your primary no longer will count that way, and it can actually cost you a whole lot more in the future. Let's see, what else do we have here? Kathy wants to know, how do you show a tax return with your new address on it when you won't file tax? Oh, good question. So they don't need to see your South Carolina taxes on this because they know you haven't filed here yet. So you're going to just send in the current one. But what they have started to request is that you go back the next year once you have filed now at your new address and upload it back in again, or go back by and show them. I recently had someone, she was a doctor who had moved to the area and was only here for a year and then got transferred out to another bigger hospital. She was a surgeon, so she was on her move to the next bigger place, and it was a big upgrade of a job promotion for her. And she never filed or uploaded her taxes from South Carolina that she filed when she filed at her new address in Little River. And so when we went to the closing table, all of a sudden, it was still showing her as they had reverted her back to as a second home, non-primary resident, and there was like a $7,000 bill sitting there for taxes. So she had to go back in, load a copy of the taxes, and we were able to get it refunded back to her, luckily. But that is a good point, Kathy. Make sure once you then get things set up as South Carolinians, go back in and file that as well. Let's see here. Herb says, hey, Jeremy, joining in from SSB. Awesome. So good questions so far, guys. Keep them coming. And while you're typing your questions out for me, let me go back here to my handy list and see what is the next thing on my list. Oh, yes, this one. So the next thing that I want to talk about, and this one you may not have known, but did you know that if you are over the age of 60, you are eligible for state's free tuition of higher education? So as a senior citizen in the state of South Carolina, if you want to go take a college course, you can do that for free at any of the state-run schools. So University of South Carolina, here's just the information I pulled up from theirs. And it says if you're a South Carolina resident who's at least 60 years old, state law provides you tuition exemption so that you can take classes at a state college or university tuition free on a space available basis. You're welcome to continue taking these courses for as long as you remain a student in good academic standing. So you can kind of see you can take classes for free. That's kind of a cool thing. My wife was telling me about this the other day, and I was kind of like, I don't believe that that's the case. And she said, no, if you're over the age of 60, you can take classes for free in South Carolina. I was like, very interesting. So I thought that was kind of a cool thing that I saw. Some other things. Healthcare. Yeah, let's talk about healthcare. So here in South Carolina, our healthcare system is growing rapidly. People are coming because there's so much growth in there. All the medical facilities are growing, they're expanding, they're enlarging, they're building all over the place. And for medical people, they want to come to this area because, hey, why not work and live at the beach? On your days off, you can go down to the beach and swim and enjoy the ocean and all of the other fun things to do in the area. So I get asked that question a lot by people. How's medical facilities here in our area? And I'll be honest with you, that I think that they're very, very good. And in addition to here locally, we're only an hour and a half away from the Medical University of South Carolina, or MUSC, down in Charleston, which is probably one of the top hospitals in the Southeast. It is fantastic. We had to take my daughter there many, many years ago, and it was just an unbelievably good experience there at that facility. So, medical facilities, healthcare, all that kind of stuff is really, really something awesome here in our area. If I bring up the map, and let me go back here over to our map a minute and kind of show you. Here's our map. And if I bring this out and zoom it out to kind of show you where everything is, we'll go right there so that doesn't go, if we go too far in, then it starts to lose everything. And let's turn off the Blanton building so it goes away. But if we look at the map here a minute, and, if I just were to type in, let's say we need pharmacy. Okay, that's one of the options here. If I click on this and show you pharmacies, look at all the pharmacies in the area. They're all over the place. If I were to change it and take off the pharmacies and just type in hospital, it's going to show you. So here's all the different hospitals that are here in the area. And so we have different ones all throughout. Over here, this is the area where the main kind of area is where we have the Grand Strand Hospital and Medical Center. And then there is a lot of other, buildings and stuff that's all around here. Right near my office, right here, is the McLeod Hospital, and they have an emergency room that sits in this area as well. Then we also have, as we go out here, let me zoom this back out and go out towards Conway. Grand Strand has another little ER that sits right here, and then Conway Medical Center sits here. If we go down to the southern end, you'll see as we go down here, you're going to see Tidelands is down here, Waccamaw Hospital, down in this area. If we go up to the northern end of the beach, up here, there's McLeod, has a nice large hospital that sits up here as well. So there are a lot of medical facilities all up and down the beach. So if you need that specialist, you should be able to find them here in our area without any problem. So medical facilities is also something huge to pay attention to here in our area. What other questions do y'all have tonight? Feel free to drop them in the comment box. I'm always here to answer them. And while you're typing them out, I'm going to keep on my list here because I've got a lot of stuff to kind of go through tonight. Another big reason why people want to move to this area is the fact that we have no Social Security tax. So there's a zero on your Social Security tax. Now, I'm not old enough to collect it yet, so I don't know. So I went and I asked the big place, do you have to? Oh, you're not seeing my screen. Let me show you my screen as we're doing this. Do you have to pay taxes on Social Security in South Carolina? And as you can see right here, according to the Smart Asset, South Carolina does not tax Social Security retirement benefits. It also provides a $10,000 taxable income deduction for seniors receiving any other type of retirement income. The state has some of the lowest property taxes in the country as well. So it's talking about property taxes again there. But you can see that's not the case for other parts of the country. I'm sure some people that are watching tonight and joining in probably live in some areas where you might be seeing some serious taxes on your Social Security. Well, here in South Carolina, you're going to get that money in your pocket. Another thing why people like coming here is just there are many, 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 many food options here in the area. As as I say in some of my videos from time to time, there are enough restaurants here in the Myrtle Beach area to eat 3 meals a day for a year and a half and never eat at the same place twice. So let's talk for a couple minutes about some of my favorite spots to eat. And I'll kind of pull some of them up so you guys can see some stuff here. And one of my first places to kind of start is Clark's Seafood. There we go. And we'll pull this up here. So this is Clark's Seafood and Chop House. It's up on the northern end of the beach. If I bring up the map here to show you where we're located, it sits right up here in Little River area, right here on the marina. Okay, so it's up in the northern end of the beach. But when you go to their menu, this is probably one of the best things I've ever consumed in my life. Right here, that you can see, this is the filet Napoleon. Okay, so it's a Parmesan risotto with asparagus, a filet mignon in the middle, a crab cake. Now, hold on. Let me just go ahead and I understand for those watching from Maryland, that is not a crab cake. I get it. Please don't yell at me again. I had two clients in the last 2 weeks yell at me that that's not a crab cake. I get it. I know it's not, but it's South Carolina's version of a crab cake. Okay. All right. Good. Now that we have that out of the way, back to where we were. So it's a crab cake with a cream sauce and a reduced vinaigrette over the top of it. It is fantastic. And if we pull up their menu here and click on it, it's loading. Let's go here to the dinner menu, just so you can kind of see. Those are scallops wrapped in bacon, which are delicious. But if we go in here and we look at their signature dishes, you will see right here's the filet Napoleon. It's $46 dish. It is worth every penny of it. Some other great spots to eat. If you want to go have some great food down on the southern end, one of the places that I really enjoy and is kind of a local hot spot is Frank's Outback. This is down in the Pawleys Island area. They have here some delicious, delicious food. And they have actually, it's kind of interesting the way it's set up. There's the inside and then there's an outside area, and they kind of have different menus for each section of it. But it is another fantastic place that you can get a great meal. One of the things here, and I don't know if they have a picture of it, but they have this cake that's like 17 layers. Let me go to Google Images and see Frank's Outback cake. Caramel cake. Yeah, that's what it is. I should have put the caramel with it. So here's a picture of it. It is this caramel cake that is just, it's phenomenal. There's no other way to put it, but it is absolutely delicious. Anyway, Frank's Outback, great spot down in the southern end. Another great spot that we really enjoy that's here in the Carolina Forest area, the Sneaky Beagle. If I can type instead of bagel, let's type Beagle. This is a nice little great spot to go grab some local food. Hopefully it'll load up here in a minute. There we go. Great stuff right here on this menu. What's cool about this place is that if you have a pet, you can take your dog with you and they can sit outside and eat with you as well. There's some real fun stuff on their menu. One of the things that we've enjoyed is they have these fried um, ravioli. They're sexy ravioli, hand breaded and stuffed with cheese, lightly fried, served with vodka sauce. They're very, very good. We also liked what was it on there? The sneaky turds. My wife really enjoyed those as well. So there's a lot of great options here at Sneaky Beagle as well. But the thing is this: here in the Myrtle Beach area, there are enough places to eat that you never have to wonder can we go get a good bite to eat. The key is not going to the typical franchise places to eat. You as a local want to go to the hot spots. My absolute favorite place, and now it's not cheap. I'm gonna be honest up front, it's not cheap, but the absolute best place to get a steak in all of Myrtle Beach is right here at New York Prime. It is absolutely phenomenal. The service you're going to get, the quality, the food, everything is just top notch. No doubt about it. So if you're looking for a good steak, check out New York Prime. But just be prepared if you go there to spend probably about $200 for two of you to eat. So it's pretty expensive. Anyway, let's jump over here a minute. I think I saw a question come in, so let's go look at this man here. Jeremy, Myrtle Beach real estate has almost doubled over the last several years. Do you see a big drop in the future? Good question. You want the long answer or the short answer? The short answer, no. Now, let's give the long answer. I don't think we're going to see prices drop anytime soon. Instead, what I think we're going to see is them to stay steady and to actually go the opposite way and continue to go up. Other parts of the country are much more expensive than here with a lot less to offer. And so, as long as we remain more affordable than other parts of the country, we're going to continue to see our values here go the same way. They're going to continue to go up, continue to rise, and continue to increase. What I really see happening, and I shared this with clients earlier today that were here in the office, is this. I believe that as we go through the rest of this year, at some point, interest rates are going to start to come down. When interest rates come down, there is going to be a huge, huge, massive amount of people who are going to start looking at houses. Okay. There has been a large just backlog of people who have been thinking about moving here for a very long time or thinking of just moving in general and haven't done it yet because they don't know where they're going to go, what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. And they just said, you know what? Let's just stay put where we're at right now. And so instead of driving or instead of buying a new house closer to work because they got a job promotion or job transfer to the other end of the beach, they've just stayed put. Or they've been thinking about getting a bigger house because their kids are getting larger. Or they're going the other way where, hey, the kids have all moved out. And so now I need to get something a little bit more manageable for just me and my spouse. So I need something a little bit smaller. Or they got divorced or had a death and they don't need that big home anymore. And so they're now thinking if rates come down, they're going to start to move. What the stats have shown, and I will show you if I can find it here a minute. Let me see if I got there. It is. This right here. Let me pull this out for you guys, and let's just give me a second. Like get this to load up. All right. So this right here is the inventory from one of the national builders. Okay. And so when you see over there on the left column that there's a color, either purple, blue, or red, that means that the home has qualified in for one of their specialty finance programs. And what this builder has found is that homes that are in that special program under 6% financing, 6% interest rate, that they are then selling. And they're able to move those products pretty good. What that has also shown, though, is that as things happen and rates go from the 7.3, 7.4 that they might be at right now down to under 6%, all of this inventory of property that's sitting there is going to fly off the shelf. All the resales that are out there right now are going to fly off the shelf. If we go and we look right now, and let me pull it up here while I talk, I'm pretty good at doing this multitask thing. Let's see if I can get this to pop up. Come on. All right, let's find our way into where we need to be. I want to pull up some stats for you guys and I'll show you. There we go. It's coming up. Let's go back here and we're going to hide the question. And while I'm pulling this up, if you have other questions, keep them coming. Um, we'll definitely talk about them. But what I want to show you is right now, if we look at some of the stats that are in here, and the big one we want to look at is month supply. And you can see right now we're at 4.6 months inventory of supply. Okay. So we're still in a seller's market. Anything less than 6 months is considered a seller's market. But there's right now enough more options out there to pick from that we have seen since, well, you can see I'm all the way back here to 2021. So this is the most we've seen in a very, very long time. Okay. What that means is that right now, if you're thinking about buying, you can buy the house and have options. But when rates go down, all of this supply is going to start to get used up quickly. People are going to buy, things are going to fall off, come off the shelf, and they will no longer be available. So when that takes place, you're going to see the rates continue to go up, not see them go down. I mean, not the rates, the prices go up when the rates go down. And when the rates go down, the inventory is going to disappear. We're going to be back to where instead of right now buying a home, I have a client that I just wrote a contract for this week where the house they were looking at, it was listed at $315,000. We ended up getting the resale down under 300,000 for them. And well under. We got down to 293. Okay, so they got this house at a pretty good deal, and we worked hard to negotiate it down to that. But as inventory starts to drop down and rates go down, you're going to see instead of getting that house for 293 like they did, you're going to be paying the 315 or 320 or 325 or maybe even back into the bidding war on the house. Now, if there's still the rare unicorn houses that come up, so homes that have a 3-car garage, homes that have a private swimming pool, those types of things, or ones that have acreage or an oversized garage that you could park an IRV, those very unique homes that aren't typical, those ones are still many times seeing multiple offers come in, bidding wars, and people competing to win them because there's just not many of those right now. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see here. Thomas has a question. He says, "Hi, Jeremy from Virginia. Which new home builders do you think build a quality home in your area? My son bought a D.R. Horton home near International in Carolina Forest. I'm less than impressed." I'm sorry that you hear that. I'd love to know which neighborhood it's in. What I can tell you about D.R. Horton is that they have different levels of product, and a lot of it depends on the budget as to what you're going to see in the home. D.R. Horton is a spec builder. They're not doing the custom work and those things. As my dad always said to me, you get what you pay for. So you're not going to be seeing, the coffered ceilings, the crown molding, all of that kind of stuff. It's going to be more just kind of your basic. Very nice home, granite countertops, nice cabinets, nice flooring, energy efficient home. But it's for them, it's all about keeping it as budget friendly as possible. The new home builders in our area that build quality homes, honestly, I have to say, I'm a big fan of D.R. Horton. I've sold many, many of their properties over the years. I'm fairly impressed with them. Pulte builds a very good product. It's a little bit more expensive. Chesapeake builds a very good product, Chesapeake Homes. But once again, both of those products are going to cost more than the Horton. So if it's, hey, my budget's only $350, you may have to go with the express line that DR Horton builds, where it's going to be more their base model versus their mid or high level product in there. Or you go with Chesapeake or Pulte, just know that you're going to be paying more, probably 450 for the same amount of square footage. But those would be probably my top three. I just sold this last week a very nice garden home that was built by Beezer, and I was fairly impressed with the final product that they put out on that home. My client's going to be moving here from California. He's very excited to be moving into that. So those are probably the ones I would say. You also have then your local builders, Dream Finders and Beverly Homes, that do usually a fairly decent job. The big thing with any of these builders, doesn't matter who you're talking to, is how do they do with the warranty work and repair work and things, that if there's an issue, how do they do with getting those things fixed after the fact with it? So hopefully that answers your question. All right. I think I'm caught up on questions right now. I am. Okay, good. Keep them coming. I love them. Let me go back here to my list now and jump back in, and let's see where we at. Before we do that, let's go back over here a minute. Let's go back to this graphic here a minute. And so back here in the Mac, in the info sparks or stats from our MLS. Okay. So if we look right now at this and kind of look at some different things, let's take a look here at the sales price. That's what I wanted. There it is. So as you can see, the average sales price, it really hasn't seen a dip. It went from 330 to 328, and that's probably just because some lower priced homes sold this month. My guess is that we'll see it go back to 335 and going back up that way. But as you can see, it's just kind of been a steady thing that goes along every year. And you can see the April to May, it's a big jump. Then here was another big jump that happened from November to January. And then we had a couple more that took place from February to April. And that just goes along with the cycles of sales here in our area. But as of today, this takes now the entire MLS, the entire area. And what is that area, you might be asking? Well, let's go over here to the map and I'll show you. So if I were to pull this map out and kind of show the whole area in, basically it covers from up here just over the North Carolina border, out here in Tabor City, out through here, probably about out almost to Fair Bluff area, then down through here, maybe a little bit of Marion in there, and it kind of goes in all the way down through Georgetown and all of this area here. So it's a pretty big area that is covered in our sales thing. So when it's taking all of those prices in, it's taking all this stuff that's out here kind of in the middle of nowhere and averaging that into the average price as well. So, all right, moving on. Let's see here. The next thing on our list. Oh, yes. Let's go here while we have the screen sharing still going, and let's talk about weather. And I want to bring up, let me see if it's still working. This is an old website of mine that I made a long time ago. And the reason I wanted to open this up is that I've created this graphic a long time ago. And if we open it up here, and we can then zoom it out so y'all can read it a little bit better. So here's kind of the big reason why people say, hey, I want to retire to Myrtle Beach. I want to move to the area, is that our average temperatures here in the area are so much better than other parts of the country. If you look at this graphic, you can see here in January, February, our average temperature is anywhere from about 56 to 60 degrees almost every single day, versus those who are living in Buffalo, New York at 30 and 26, or those in PA at 37 to 40, 40 to 44, or those up in New York at 39 to 42, or those poor people in Cleveland, Ohio at 34 to 38. So the winter months here are very mild. And then you can see that as we go through looking at it, we then get into that spring market in March, where it's just absolutely beautiful from March through May, we're seeing 60s to 80s where the high of anybody is only 74 here in Philly when we're up at 80s. But it's, a very, very mild winter, gorgeous summer. But then we do get to those summer months where we will then start to see this, where it gets just hot. And if we bring up here, and let's look at the 10-day forecast for our area. And so you can see tomorrow it's going to be 93. Thursday's going to be 94. Oh, weather.com. I love it when you just jump around on me. 94. Then it's going to go to 89, then back into the 90s again Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be just extremely hot. And in addition to that extremely hot, we're also going to have extremely high humidity. If you look, our humidity right now, it says is 94%. That means if I walk outside right now, after about 5 minutes of being out there, I'm going to be having a really good sweat worked up just from just walking outside because it is that hot outside. So if I were to look at this and see right now, where is it? See if it'll tell me so even though right now here it is, it's almost 7 o'clock at night and it feels like almost 90 degrees outside. Oh, there it goes jumping again. Feels like 89 degrees outside right now. The humidity is at 82%. But one of the things that we always have here is a little bit of a breeze. So, yes, it's hot. Yes, it's humid. But at least somewhat close to the coastline, you are going to still see a little bit of a breeze. So, during the summer months, it's going to be hot. It's going to be brutal. But then as we start to get into September, October, that's when you're going to start to see the much cooler, but still warm temperatures throughout the area where it's going to be in the 80s still through September and October. It's shorts weather. You're walking around with shorts most of the days. My first year living here at the beach, I wore shorts every single day of the year. I actually went to the beach on my birthday in October and was in the water swimming around, no problem at all. So weather is definitely something that you can enjoy retired here in Myrtle Beach. So I want to ask a question to those of you that are joining in tonight. Do me a favor, leave a comment and let me know of the reasons that I've shared so far. What is the reason you're either considering moving here or have already made the move to the Myrtle Beach area? I'd love to hear some of the reasons why you're thinking about this area. And while you're typing that, I'm going to go back here, look at my list, and let's see what other things I have here on my list. Ah, yes, that one. So let me turn off the screen share here. There we go. Back to that. And we're going to start talking about this other one is one of the things that most people don't realize is that in South Carolina, there are a lot of state parks throughout the area. And here in the Myrtle Beach area, we have a lot of them as well right here in the Myrtle Beach area. So if we go over here and I'm pulling up the South Carolina State Parks website, and as you can see, there's all kinds of them throughout the entire state. And so I come in here and I can zoom it in. And if we look here along the coast where we live, there are two of them right here in Horry County that are available to you that you can go to. Myrtle Beach State Park and also Huntington State Park, which is down south of us a little bit. And these are some great spots. You can get annual passes to go here and check them out, enjoy them. A lot of people enjoy going down here to the beach. Across the street from Huntington State Park is obviously Brook Green Gardens, a great place where you can go and enjoy all kinds of amazing things there. But you can go into the state park. In the background here of this image is actually the Atalaya Castle. There used to be a home, a giant residence here, plantation on this state park that you could go and use. But in addition to just the ones here in Horry County, look at all these other ones that are nearby that you can go and check out. So maybe you say, hey, I want to go more to the upstate where it's going to be a little bit more maybe mountainous. You can go up here and there's all kinds over in this area that you could go and check out. Or you can go down here south and go down to the low country and be at these down here along the beach. There's Hunting Island, Edisto, May Forest, Charlestown, Colonial Dorchester. And there's just so many. I'm going to zoom back in a little bit. And you can kind of see, and there's just a lot to do here at the state parks. In addition, the other thing that makes Myrtle Beach very popular is just golf courses. And so if I just go here and just type in golf courses near me, here's a list. How many would you like to play? You can see here's just some of the golf courses here through the area. Now, let's talk a minute about golf courses and living here in Myrtle Beach. So if you want to buy a home and be on a golf course, I would just give caution right now to anybody who's thinking about doing that. And here's the reason that I say that. These golf courses, unfortunately, are not as profitable these days as they used to be because there's so many to compete with. And so, unfortunately, what that means is that sometimes a golf course is shutting down. We're seeing it right now as we speak over in the Carolina Forest area on River Oaks Drive. River Oaks is about to shut down. It's going to turn into housing developments. And so, unfortunately, that golf course is going to go away. But let me share a story about some clients of mine that I worked with back in probably 2003, 2004. They were buying a home out here at Burning Ridge Golf Course. Okay, and so if I zoom in here on Burning Ridge Golf Course, they bought a home right where this area is. And let me pull this out a little bit so you can see. So the home that they were purchasing was right down here in this area. Okay. And it was like the second home in. And there used to be this great, actually, no, it was a little bit farther down. It was right about here. And there used to be this great, awesome hole on the golf course. And so if I were to, let me just see here if I can, where's the button I want? Let's close that. And oops, we'll just go back here. Sorry. I'm trying to do this and pull this up for you. And I'm not even showing you. That would help, wouldn't it? All right, so let me go over here a minute and let's go back to the map. And then we're going to type in Burning Ridge Golf Course. Okay, so Burning Ridge out here, and we're going to go to this layer. So you can see here is the clubhouse. Here's some of the holes, and you'll see where the golf course all kind of goes through here. Well, one of the things Burning Ridge Golf Course learned is that they had two 18-hole courses, and they learned that it would be more affordable that instead of having two 18-hole courses, they would be better off having two 9-hole courses instead. So what they did is they decided to go in and take out and sell off 9 of the holes. Well, the 9 holes that they sold off was right in this section right here, okay? So I sold a home that sat right here on Timber Ridge Road, right about in this area, to a couple. And they were buying it. It was on like the 13th hole. It was a par 3, had a beautiful island green with water, and you could see the tee box and everything from the hole. And about 6 months after closing, they got notice that Burning Ridge Golf Course was being sold. And this house went from having this amazing view of the golf course to having an amazing view of a house. So if you're buying something on a golf course, be careful and don't fall in love with just the view, because it's very good possibility at some point that it might disappear. So just be very, very cautious with those types of things. Anyway, let's go over here and look. Oh, we'll talk some more about some things. I see some questions and I want to get to those. So GTO wants to know, is the traffic as bad as they say? Ooh, good question. Yes and no. Certain parts of the area, the traffic can be much worse. If we go back here to our map, and here we go. Well, let's go to this version. Oh, well, you don't need to see me too. And so if we look at the map, The areas where traffic gets really, really bad in our area is here along 501. That's one of the areas that can get very congested. The thing that has helped, and this goes back to a question that someone asked towards the beginning of the show today, where they asked about traffic and are we building more roads? Are we getting more stuff in place to help, with people that are coming to the area and are growing so fast? With that, we've had roads like 31 added and the widening of Carolina Forest Boulevard, which is the road that runs right through here, and International Drive that goes out here to Highway 90 and things like that. So, with all of these addition of roads, it has made it a lot better. That's why I'm a big fan of living where I live up here towards the northern end of Carolina Forest in this section because I have accessibility. I can easily jump on Highway 31 and get to the northern end of the beach or down here to the southern end. But if there's a bad wreck on 31 and it's shut down, I can jump over here to 17 bypass. If there's a bad wreck there too, I've got 17 business. If there's one there, I've got Ocean Boulevard. But what you can see is as we start to go north here, Ocean Boulevard connects into 17 business. And then just a little bit farther north, right here, the two 17s merge together right by the Pirates Voyage and the Carolina Opry sit right here. So if you're going through this area, yeah, this traffic sometimes backs up and bottlenecks because people can't get through. But then as you go north, you only have two options for the rest of it. And then as you go even farther north and get up here into Little River, you have just one option. So if I live up here in this area near Heather Glen, which is up here closer to this North Carolina border, and there's a wreck right here, I'm stuck. I can't get home. I have to wait for it to be cleared out. So unfortunately, during the season, it can get a little hectic. But if you plan where you're going to live to not be in areas that only has one option, you're better off. So Carolina Forest, we have four options going north, 4 options going south. If you live down in this section of Carolina Forest in the Forest Brook area, you still have access to get on 31, 17s, and Ocean Boulevard. And the same thing happens as we go down here south, you start to lose those. So basically, if you can be in the area between, basically 544 up through to almost Barefoot, you have options for getting around that will help to make things easier to get from one end of the beach to the other. Most things I would say you can get around the area in fairly decent time. So if I were to leave my office right now and say I wanted to get directions from here to, well, let's just say we want to go over to Broadway at the beach. And I just put it in right now. I'm getting over here and right into the middle of the tourism stuff of Myrtle Beach in about 10 minutes time. Maybe I need to go down to Sam's Club instead, which is a little bit farther south. That's another maybe 2-3 minutes to the trip. Maybe I want to go down to the airport right now. I can probably do that right now today at 7 o'clock at night and 20 minutes, so it's not that bad. And that's kind of the average to get just about anywhere that I want to go is about 15 to 20 minutes to any part of the beach. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see here. Surfside said the reason they moved here was for weather, activities, and lifestyle overall. Yeah, that's exactly probably one of the biggest reasons most people are moving to this area is they want to have the weather, they want to have activities. There's always stuff going on here in the Myrtle Beach area, things going on, things to do, activities. Friday night, I heard fireworks going off over at the baseball game, I believe it was. Tonight, there will be fireworks at, I believe it's 10 o'clock at Broadway at the beach. 4th of July is coming up next week. It is the busiest time of the year here at the beach, no doubt about it. But where I live, I'm on the west side of the waterway. So I won't be caught dealing with those things. I can go to the activities if I want to. I can participate if I want to. Or what I will more than likely do, since, I'm not wanting to go do it by myself, I'll probably just relax at home with the dogs and have a good night, just chilling at home. So there's some great things doing that kind of stuff. Let's see here. GTO says, thank you for answering my questions. And Thomas says, thank you. Look forward to meeting you soon. Look forward to retiring near my son who lives at the parks of Carolina Forest where nobody uses their garages. Yeah, that's a thing down here. Nobody uses the garages. Everything is stored in it. Unfortunately, I am one of those people as well. I do not park cars in my garage. They park them in the driveway because my garage is filled with things. Now, I have 3 kids. So we've got to have all the bicycles, all of the toys, all of the games, all of the fun stuff, as well as extra freezer, extra refrigerator. Because I have a son who's over 6 foot tall and has hollow legs. I think he can just eat and eat and eat. And when he's done eating everything, still say, I'm hungry. What's for dessert with it? So anyway, guys, we're coming up here. We're just over an hour tonight. If you have more questions, let's put them in the chat now. I can answer anything you got. One question I had earlier today that came in from someone, they were hoping to be on the chat. I do not know if they're still here or not, but they were asking, not retiring, obviously, by this question, but hey, we're new parents. We're coming to the area. Where's a good pediatrician? And well, let me share with you some great pediatricians. The one that my wife and I use, there's Little River Medical. There's also a Grand Strand Pediatrics, which is over connected to the Grand Strand Hospital. Those are probably the 2 bigger pediatric facilities here in the area. Other questions you guys have, feel free to ask them. If you want to know about neighborhoods, you want to know about restaurants, things to do, whatever, feel free to reach out. As I mentioned, we are coming up on 4th of July here in just a few days. And so with that being the case, you might be wondering, what is the schedule for fireworks here in the area? So let me pull that up for you guys as well. And here you can see this is from Vacation Myrtle Beach, where it's going to show you about fireworks schedules coming up. And so the boardwalk's going to have some, and it's going to be going on, set off the 2nd Avenue Pier. They occur weekly on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. from the May 29th through August 28th. Barefoot Landing's going to have fireworks. And let's see here. When do they say theirs are? They go, looks like they're going basically all Mondays, except for a couple Tuesdays. They will be doing fireworks as well. Pelicans baseball, they've got their schedule in here for fireworks also. Broadway at the Beach, they do theirs on Tuesdays. And then as we get closer here to the 4th, they're adding in some Fridays, some Thursdays, all kinds of extra days. And, those are kind of the big places. And then here's some other big spots to go check them out. Cherry Grove Pier will have them. There'll be fireworks over the Marsh Walk, as well as at the Pelicans game, Barefoot Landing, and also at Broadway at the Beach. So there are going to be some great spots for fireworks and things to do here over the next week. If you're coming to visit the area, definitely want to check those out. Let's see here. Lisa has a question. She says, we're coming to the area in September with hopes to find an area we like. The only thing I'm concerned about is finding jobs and getting it all lined up with the move here. Yeah, that's a good question, Lisa. And definitely something to be concerned about. Your question is a little too thick. I have to turn it off. I'll have to read it here as we're going. With moving here, the job market here, your pay, your income is going to be probably less than maybe where you currently live. Sorry, you're making me sneeze, Lisa. Whew. Sorry about that. So just take that into account. But your cost of living is going to be much less here. Today, I just filled up my car with gas earlier today. Gas here was $2.95 a gallon. And by the way, if you want to save a little bit more, free plug here for Walmart Plus app. You can get the app. It's, I think, like $90 a year, but you get 10 cents a gallon off of your gas at any of the Walmart gas stations, Murphy Expresses, Sam's Club, all that kind of place. So I was able to get gas today at $2.85 a gallon. A gallon of milk is much more affordable here than other parts of the country. Just overall, the entire cost of living is going to be less. Now, depending on what type of career you're in right now, Lisa, you may be able to find something pretty easy. If it's something specialized or factory or manufacturing, we don't have really manufacturing jobs. There are not factories here in our area. But if you're someone who is in the education industry or the medical field or things like that, there are more than enough opportunities for you to find a place here pretty quick. So let's see here. Angelina said, I heard a Walmart's coming to Longs. Do you know where? No, I don't. But let's go and look. Walmart coming to Longs, South Carolina. Let's see here. Fact check on Walmart. Sorry, I'm reading right now. Let's see if I can find anything. It's gonna nope. I can't read it because it wants me to sign in and subscribe. Is a new Walmart coming to the Myrtle Beach area? Walmart could be coming soon to Carolina Shores. Walmart in Little River. Nope. I don't see anything about it yet. It looks like one might be coming to Carolina Shores, which is close to North Myrtle Beach. The one in North Myrtle Beach, though, is not that far away from Longs. So I will keep an ear out for that, Angelina. And if it does, I'll talk about it in an upcoming live for sure. But right now, I'm not seeing anything in using my fact-finding skills of looking at Google. Sorry. All right, let me grab a drink here a second. If you guys have any other questions, type them in the chat. If not, we're probably going to end this one here in a little bit. I've got 2 puppies at home that are probably wanting to go outside right now, and hopefully they're not going to just stay out there and melt because they love to be in the sun. All right. Anyway, guys, it doesn't seem like any other questions are coming in. So I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. Hopefully you found some. Oh, here comes one in. I see somebody typing something. Let's see what it says here. Nicole says, hey, Jeremy. Hey, Nicole. Keep up the great videos. On average, how far out are new home builds booking out? Ooh, good question. A lot of it's going to depend on what type of new home build you're looking to do, Nicole. If you're looking at doing a custom build, it could be 12 months from beginning to end because you have to purchase your lot. Then you have to get with a developer and architect to draw up the plans, get with your builder, go over those plans, have everything approved and worked out between the two, which can take, a month or 2 to get that done. Then once everything's ready, then submit it. Then once it comes back, the process starts. And depending on the size of a custom build, it could easily take 6 to 9 months to finish. If you're doing something more semi-custom, like a spec home or a semi-spec or type of thing with some of your bigger name builders that are going to let you do options like Chesapeake Homes, let's say, or Pulte or Beezer or Lennar or Beverly. Those homes, you're probably about 4 to 6 months from beginning to end to be done. If you're doing a DR Horton home where you're buying it just as a spec, and honestly, right now they're giving the better deals than most of the other ones. If you go and you buy a house right now with Pulte, or with, I just had this happen with a client who's buying from California, and they're buying with a local builder called Ashton Woods. Ashton Woods said that the price on the home was going to be, starting in the mid 3s. And so my people are like, hey, this is going to be exciting. Well, they wanted to have a lot that's on the woods. Well, the lot premium alone was $30,000. So we went from $350 to $380 just picking the piece of dirt. Then till they put in their basic options, then upgrades they wanted to have, that home was over $450. But that home has been started. It's probably going to be done, I'm guessing, fall towards Christmas, probably around October to Thanksgiving range, maybe as far as out to Christmas. With it, if you do though, and with that, the price was the price. $450 is what they had to pay. At the same time, if they went and bought if you go out and you buy right now a DR Horton home that is in the process, and I talked about it earlier. Let me pull back up the list here a minute, because you may not have been on at that point we were talking about it. But as we look at their list here a minute, if we were to go and buy one of these homes that's in a farther stage, like in this development here, the Villages, where these homes are in stage 12 right now. If you were to go and purchase one of these homes, they would give you a really good deal. So this one that's maybe 430, we're getting for 410, 415. They're also, if you use their lender, going to give you a $7,000 credit towards closing. They're also going to buy down your interest rate on this home from in the mid sevens to 5.99. So, and they're going to throw in gutters, throw in screening in the porch, window blinds in the home. So you're looking at maybe $8,000 to $10,000 of upgrade, $7,000 towards closing costs, and probably $15,000 to $18,000 off of the purchase price. So you can see they're giving you pretty good deals. Now, why are they doing it? Because this home is finished. It's ready. It's costing them money each month to pay for the electric, the water, the insurance, all that stuff on the home, and it's costing them money. And so they want to move it off the books, and they'd rather take a little bit of a loss in the purchase price to be able to collect what they can and be done and move on to the next. So these homes that are in stage 12, they're ready to go in the next 30 days. The homes up here on this list, which are at stage 2, where they've just poured the foundation, those homes are probably about 100 days out from being done with it. However, with the way Horton works, there is no picking anything. The colors are the colors, the designs are the designs, the customizations are the customizations. They're not going to make any changes to it. So hopefully that answers your question, Nicole. Good question, though. But anyway, as I was starting to say before that one came in, hopefully everyone enjoyed tonight's topic, talking about retiring here, some of the benefits of retiring to this area. As always, guys, if you're thinking about moving to the area and you want to get a little bit more information about doing it, you can go down below there where it's scrolling across the screen, jeremyblanton.com, and it's real easy to do. I'll show you as we're finishing out tonight. Let me bring it up here again, and we'll go here. You can go over here to my website, jeremyblanton.com, and it's going to pop up right here in the middle of the screen. It'll say book a phone call, and you could click on if you wanted to talk to me tomorrow right here, and it'll show you the times I have available. You simply select the time, you fill out some information, and it schedules it. It puts it directly onto my calendar, and we will talk tomorrow at 12:30 to 1 o'clock about your needs for moving to the area and what we can do to make that happen. I tried to make it as easy as possible, as safe as possible, and as smooth as possible to do. I'd love to talk with you guys. Feel free to reach out to me. And if you're coming to visit, let me know that as well. We can definitely schedule some time to meet up at my office, kind of go over things, discuss your personal needs, and get a game plan for you guys to move to the area. And listen, I've been doing this now for 23, 24 years. I've got a lot of experience doing it. And even if you're buying that new build, you want somebody on your side. It doesn't cost you additional money to have me there. They're not going to give you a better deal if I'm not part of the transaction. The builders have margins that are set in place. They're going to pay at this time the commission to me to have me represent you, and you get my expertise. You get me there at the walkthroughs, going through, putting blue tape everywhere. They do not like it when I walk in the door to a blue tape walkthrough, because they know I'm going to mark everything up and I'm going to say this isn't right and make them fix it. So if you're thinking about moving to the area, I'd love to help you with it. That's the big sales pitch, I guess you could say, for the day. Angelina says, thanks, coming up Friday. Awesome. Hope you have a great time here. If I can help with anything, feel free to reach out. Gunny says, have a great holiday, folks. Have fun with the fireworks. Remember, guys, back it up, Terry. Back it up. Just back it up. Yeah. You may not know what that reference, but it's okay. Somebody on here, I'm sure, gets it and enjoys it. If you're going to be out shooting off fireworks, so guys, be safe, be careful with it. Have a fun 4th of July. And I will be doing one of these again here, hopefully in the near future. Until then, if you need me, reach out. I'm here to help you however I can. And I hope everyone has an amazing an awesome 4th of July. See ya.